What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I did want to jump back on the Drive Club because I had something I did want to discuss today, and that's probably going to come down to the fact of needing Drive Club on PlayStation 5, bro. Now, don't get me wrong, I do know like the entire studio was like moved around or, on different games and stuff like that, so that's probably not going to happen. But hear me out for a second. Wouldn't you guys love to see this game come back onto PlayStation 5? Also, why not put this game on every other platform, even though, once again, that probably is not going to happen. But imagine for a second, though, if they release this game on PS5 again, here is the number one thing it needs, though. Legit add all the lovely updates into the game, or like the add-ons you can download, so that way players can do everything. For example, guys, I never got the bike update. I was really upset about that when jumping onto the game. I'm like, man, I legit can't use any other motorcycles. I'm also a bike guy in real life, so looking at something like the BMW S1000RR and like the KTM RC and stuff like that, I'm like, yo, these are dope. Imagine the physics of them and stuff like that. But if you never got the add-ons back in the day, you can't use them now. So they probably should add something like that into the game to where you can get all of the add-ons. Kind of surprised they never actually did that, even though the game is currently on PlayStation 4, which is, you could play it on PS5, you download it, or you have the disc. They really should have all the add-ons on there, though, guys. I really don't know why they did that. And on top of that, guys, not only can you not actually download the add-ons for the game, but currently when looking in the PlayStation Store, I don't even see Drive Club in there. So a lot of players probably can't even download the game or at least play it unless you actually go out and find a disc somewhere, which I would say is possible, maybe like GameStop, maybe online on Amazon, or one of those websites might have a disc version of it. But if you are looking to play this on the actual PlayStation Store, I did not even see it in there, so a lot of players will not even have access to Drive Club if they want to play it. Like, don't get me wrong, I do know the entire studio was closed down and like they were moved to other games and stuff, but why not leave the game in there with all the add-ons? That way players can jump into it. And if it was something to come back on the PS5 with like all the updates or like all the add-ons and the special things on it, that would legit be really popular, bro. Like, everybody would love it. They don't need to have multiplayer. They obviously closed that. But, like, add something like the actual game in there. Put all the add-ons on there, guys. Everybody would download the game. I guarantee PS5 players would love it. And also, I feel like it would actually be pretty dang popular. Like, this was a great racing game for its time. I mean, it came out in, what, 2014? And it still looks that good, drives that good, and there's so many different events, so many different cars, all kinds of different events to do. Like, it is a good game. And for its time being, I really do feel like it really could have been something a lot bigger if the game was most likely, like, probably not canceled or whatever you want to call it, getting rid of everything and going, all right, this entire studio is over. Let's say they actually came forward and they were like, you know what, guys, we are going to release the game, but there's going to be one problem. We are going to release Drive Club again, guys, but here's the issue. It's not going to be a free release. Would you guys be upset with that? Or would you actually be okay with the entire game coming out with all the add-ons, like the bikes, all the AMG stuff, and like all the really cool add-ons they had on it? For maybe, let's say the entire game came out for 10 to 15 bucks, I would actually be okay with that, man. Like, I would not mind paying that for it. Even $20 for all the add-ons, because there was a lot on there, bro. There is so many of them. For example, guys, looking at the menu, take a look at this. So we obviously have the Drive Club bikes here. You can't see single events. There's 102 stars there. We have the MV Augusta, Suzuki, I think that's EBR. We also have the Drive Club Bikes Tour. Look at all the events, guys. Like, this is a lot of stuff you can actually do. I feel like a lot of players will look at this and go, $15 for everything, man. Like, this is still going, bro. Look at all the events. Also, on top of that, doing that, guys, I would even spend $25 on this, even 30 to be honest. Like, there's a lot of stuff here. So, for example, here's the tour. You guys can see the main Drive Club tour here, which, by the way, there is plenty of events in this if you are wondering. Like, there's a lot here. You could drive all kinds of different cars. There's drift events, time trials, all that stuff. And you do get to experiment with many different vehicles in this. The other thing on top of that, though, is I actually missed a few of the updates here, which is the finish line and the no limit. So that's two more. But check this out, guys. Look at all of these. Not even kidding. Like, that is a lot of races, bro. That's a lot. And each one has different tournaments and all kinds of events. And I do know a lot of players are going to be like, well, Block, like, really $30 for that? Like, even $25 for everything in the game, including all the events, all the DLCs and stuff like that. I feel like that's a good deal. And it's not really going to be a steal because there's going to be lots of things to go after. All kinds of different events, guys. Like, look at this. I haven't even done all these, man. And I have been playing Drive Club a lot. I do know I platinum this game, which is pretty insane. And funny story about that. So when I was playing Drive Club back in the day, I wasn't really playing multiplayer all that often. Like I was basically sucked into the main single player part of it. And when thinking back, the trophy was like called unbeatable, to where you'd have to send like a challenge to somebody, then beat that 5 times, which insanely enough was like a 0.6% completion rate. Like it was pretty rare. I was also not really playing multiplayer, so I was like, man, how am I going to do this? Turns out my friend's account was still on my PlayStation 5, so I logged on to his account. And then from there, I basically ended up playing the campaign a bit. That way I could play through it, level up enough to actually do the said trophy. And then boom, I ended up completing that, basically running my account and my friend's account, because I wasn't really playing with people back in the day like that. But either way, guys, it really is going to be funny thinking of memories like that, especially on something like Driveclub. I would also like to know your thoughts. Would you guys like to see this game back on PlayStation 5? For some odd reason, though, I feel like if they were to re-release Driveclub, I really do think a lot of players would most likely freak out, most likely go, yo, $25 for this game and all the DLCs in it combined? Let's do it. That's a lot of content. And the other part of this that would also be really dope is, for one, players back then might have not actually got to play Drive Club, and now they can actually jump back onto the game, get everything in the game for like 20 or 25 bucks, be able to do all the events and really experience Drive Club on the PlayStation 5, which I would say right now, guys, the game already looked insane on PS4. Can you all imagine how this game would look on PS5, man? Oh man, it would legit be probably one of the best looking racing games of the era, not even kidding, because back then it was also one of the best racing games, and I would even go as far as saying it probably still is. Now, I do know this is probably not going to happen, but imagine if they had Drive Club on every single platform. I do know that would most likely not happen, because I do know it's like a PlayStation game, but my goodness though, guys, I feel like even players on Xbox and stuff like that would love it. I do know the game is obviously going to be around 9 years old, so it is older. It is going to show some flaws with some things here and there, but even with all that, it's still going to have an insane fun factor to it. But besides all that though, guys, I would like to know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Do you also agree that Drive Club can easily make a return on the PlayStation 5? And also, everybody would probably want it.